raḥmatullāhi wa barakātuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you. In the streets of Medina, as the sun began to sink behind the palm trees, a small boy sat quietly near a wall. His little hands held a broken toy, a wooden bird with one wing missing. He watched other children run by, laughing and playing, but he didn't join them. His clothes were torn. His eyes told the story of someone who had lost too much too early. A merchant passing by stopped and asked, "Why are you sitting here alone, little one?" The boy whispered, "My father. He died in one of the battles. Mama says Allah took him to Jannah, but sometimes I wish I could see him again." The man's heart trembled. He placed a date in the boy's hand and walked away, whispering to himself, "Poor child. How many like him are in our city?" Later that day, a small group of companions gathered outside the masjid. Among them was the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He noticed the same little boy walking by, his face dusty, his toy clutched tight. The Prophet ﷺ looked at him and called gently, "Ya Ghulam, O boy, come here." The child stopped, unsure, and slowly walked forward. The Prophet ﷺ knelt down to his level. He wiped the dust from the boy's cheeks with his blessed hand and asked softly, "Where is your father, my child?" The boy's voice trembled. "He was martyred, Ya Rasul Allah." The companions lowered their heads. A deep silence fell. Then, with a look of love that only a prophet could give, Muhammad smiled and said, "Would you like me to be your father, and Aisha your mother?" The boy's eyes widened. He couldn't speak. Only tears began to roll down his face. The Prophet placed his hand on the child's head and drew him close, holding him in a warm embrace. From that day, the boy was seen often around the masjid, smiling again, walking beside the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. The Prophet would sometimes lift him up on his camel, share food with him, and remind others, "Whoever takes care of an orphan, he and I will be together in paradise like this." And he held up his two fingers side by side. But this story doesn't end there. One evening, years later, a man saw that same boy, now a young man, giving food to children in the street. He asked him, "Why do you care so much for the orphans, my brother?" The young man smiled and said, "When I was alone and forgotten, the Prophet, peace be upon him, saw me. He didn't just give me food, he gave me family. So now I try to do the same for those who sit where I once sat." And so, in the heart of Medina, under the care of the Prophet, an orphan's tears turned into hope, and that hope lived on in generations who learned to care for those without parents, because the Prophet didn't just preach mercy, he was mercy, and every orphan who smiled because of him is proof of that mercy still living among us today. This story is derived from authentic narrations found in Sahih Muslim, and may Allah fill our hearts with the same compassion the Prophet showed. If this story touched you, share it, and remember an orphan today. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon. Let's keep learning and growing together, inshaAllah.